triple-bladed dagger, whose 3 double-edged blades sprang from but one hilt, had come to mean instant death to any man who got in its way. The search for the scourge leads Alborak to Gulistan, the land of ghouls, an evil region of black crags and wild gorges, shunned by wise men. It seemed uninhabited, yet men dwelled there, men or demons. Glimpses of shadowy figures moving through the night lead Alborak on a wild, strange search that always ends in the same place, a black cliff through which only a demon could pass. The noise of the djinn, which echoes among the crags, is a sound to turn a man's heart to ice as it mocks Alborak and his mission as he follows a trail of 3-bladed doom. Hi friends, Jim here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the Robert E. Howard Alborak story, 3-Bladed Doom. Now this is for Cimmerian September, where we celebrate everything Robert E. Howard and all his stories and his characters that he created. It's a great reading event, and it was created by Michael K. Vaughan. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit, not too long, about 3-Bladed Doom. As I said, it's an Alborak story. His Francis Xavier Gordon character. He was created when he was 10 years old, Alborak, and he didn't really see publication until later on in Robert E. Howard's writing career, but he is one of his best characters in my opinion. 3-Bladed Doom is actually out there in 2 versions. There's a 42,000 word novella version, and there's a 24,000 shorter version, and they are both available in this Del Rey edition, Alborak and Other Desert Adventures. Now, the only clean version you're going to get is in this particular book. It didn't see publication in Robert E. Howard's time. As I said, he did a 42,000 word version, and he wasn't able to place that in any magazines. His agent, Otis Adelbert Klein, tried to place it. He had no luck. So Howard rewrote it to a shorter version, and that one wasn't able to be placed either. And there's rumors that there's a 12-page version out there, but that hasn't been published yet either. And I don't think anybody really knows where that version is. There was at least 6 rewrites on the story. But that being said, in my opinion, it's one of the most perfect Robert E. Howard stories. Alborak is one of my favorite characters of Robert E. Howard's, and 3-Bladed Doom was just an incredible adventure. I mean, it's full of intrigue. It's full of violence, brutal violence. It's probably one of the more violent Robert E. Howard stories, even more so than the Conan stories. So the longer version was finally printed in this zebra paperback, 3-Bladed Doom, in, I do believe, 1976. If I'm not mistaken, 1977. This is the first printing of the longer story. That cover is not representative of the story inside, but that is a zebra. And the short version saw print in this fan magazine. I guess you'd call it a fan magazine. It's REH Lone Star Fictioneer number 4, and this was the first printing of the short version of the story. And this had illustrations by Jim Steranko, of all people, illustrated the story. And there you see the frontispiece, the beginning of the story, and he had 2 other pictures in it. That's a fairly famous drawing of Alborak by Jim Steranko. And then we have one more drawing to go with the story, and that's that one. And Jim Steranko was just a brilliant artist, and he was a good choice to illustrate the story. Now, this particular version, the short version, was heavily edited by the editor of the magazine, the beginning and the ending of the story. The editor, Byron Rourke, heavily edited it. And it was famously adapted into the Conan story by L. Sprague de Camp, The Flame Knife, which can be found in this book here. And this book is illustrated by Esteban Morado. Just this book is nice to find if you can find it. It's just chock full of illustrations. And it's nice. It's not, I mean, as I said, it's edited by L. Sprague de Camp, and I have my own issues with that. But it's still nice to have as the, you know, being a collector and having the collector mentality. I'm glad I have it. But really, the story you want to read is in the Del Rey version of Elborak and Other Desert Adventures. So there's not much more to say about it. There was I do believe it's the last Elborak story to be written, but more of Elborak can be found in these two volumes. These are the Berkeley Medallion editions, The Lost Valley of Iskander and Son of the White Wolf. And I do believe that Robert E. Howard, the RAH Foundation Press, has reprinted or printed his earlier Elborak stories he wrote when he was a young man, and that features also two characters that appear in this story, Three-Bladed Doom, Lal Singh and Yar Ali Khan. They were two characters that Robert E. Howard created along with Elborak when he was younger, and they they make a fairly prominent appearance in Three-Bladed Doom. Now, the three-bladed emblem represents an assassin death cult that reside in the Gulistan mountains, and they're just a conglomeration of all the Middle Eastern races working together as in this cult, and it's Gordon's job to infiltrate this cult, and he does so with a certain amount of panache. There's a lot, as I said, there's a lot of violence, a lot of action. He comes across his own version of the maze in Theseus and the Minotaur. He's thrown into this maze of ravines, and in the process he comes across his own Minotaur in the story. And I think Robert E. Howard, very certainly he did that on purpose to connect it with the Greek mythology and make Elborak this kind of, raise him up to this mythological figure. And I'm very certain that was done on purpose and brilliantly done. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I had to say about the story. I know I haven't done a video for a while, but I wanted to focus on that and just introduce you to that story, Three-Bladed Doom. And I highly recommend that you pick up the Del Rey book if you haven't already. I know a few other booktubers have featured that on their own videos. Tim from Secret Fire Books, I'm going to put his link down below, and he'll elaborate a little bit more on the story, and you can check out his video. But that's all for now. I'm going to do a book haul video very soon. I got quite a few books I want to share with you, and that will probably be my next video. But until then, I will talk to you soon. You take care and keep reading.